Hey man, we're live. We're live. And we're live and we're wondering, what are we going to wear to the Civil War? What are you going to be wearing at the Civil War when it breaks out? Is there really going to be a bloody Civil War in America? Is America ready to break? Sure seems that way. Corey Hansen. Yeah, man. Oh, I don't know who these people are, but I like his guitar, Gibson. All right, guys. I've heard this before. Give me something. You better get to the chorus before the Civil War starts, or nobody's going to know who you are. I didn't feel it really. I was trying to make it up. But Corey Hansen, thank you for playing today. Nice sound. Good morning, everybody. Is America facing a civil war? Tim Pool made a big splash yesterday, you heard, talking about and showing evidence of a civil war. Just total breakdown in our elections, in our social fabric, in our Constitution. Many people believe that the sides are so inconsolable that there is no other way out other than bloody revolution, or call it civil war, revolution, whatever it is. Banana Republic is now becoming something of a soft term as to where we might be going. Now, this happens every year around election times. It's always an undertone of America. America's about to break. We could never elect a black president. If we did, the world would be over. And such things like that. But it does seem that there is a, covering this stuff, it seems like there's a deep sense of corruption within the justice system. But isn't there always? I think it's a little nerving when you see people running for office, getting elected to that office, for example, Attorney General, and then using their power to prosecute their political enemies. I don't know. The people that are doing the prosecuting in this case, a.k.a. the Trump trials, believe in their heart of hearts that they are doing the right thing. Those are the same people saying defund the police, and at the same time they're funding the higher law enforcement entities like CIA, FBI, and the judicial system, calling for people to be locked up. So you want to defund the police, you want to demilitarize everything, but then again you want to lock everybody up for having a difference of an opinion. And what you perceive as a sweeping conspiracy to overthrow the United States government. So there's a real deep divide in this country. I'm just going to play some clips. I think Tim Pool made a nice splash when he said it. It caught my eye. It caught my ear. I was listening. I'm like, yeah, I think you're right, man. So we'll play that. Play that clip. Good morning, everybody. Weevil Girl on the Wrench in the house. Vinny D. Martini, motherfucker, is here as well. Quinn Smith, Cass Philly Camden is here. Justin Falzone is here. And everybody else is lurking. Jim Gerard in the house. Chris Milk, Champs, and everybody else. Welcome. My name is Marcus Conti. I have a website, and every morning at 9 a.m. we're right here live on YouTube. We break to the markets at 9:30 New York time. Not looking so good right now. It seems like we're going down. Is that part of the Civil War? Attack the stock market? I don't know, man. You got to look at those war stocks, right? Civil war, right? What's going to be the what's of value during Civil War, right? Isn't it like staples, not the store, but staples like food, canned food, cigarettes, gas, right? Start stockpiling, man, for the Civil War. Guns, bullets, right? What the fuck is going on, man? It's noisy outside. No dogs today. I think the dogs are taking a break. So anyway, I have a website every morning, 9 a.m. We're here live, YouTube for now. Maybe someday, I don't know. Leading up to an election, I think we're going to get a sweeping censorship again, weeding out people who, I don't know, speak openly and refuse to fall in line with any particular party. Are going to be the butt end of the new censorship, and all you're going to hear is MSNBC, CNN, and maybe Fox. I hope Fox doesn't get canned as well, because that's not unthinkable. Right? Because if the current legal system is trying to vilify and or criminalize conflicting voices or people who speak out against election fraud, we're going to have a big problem again of deep censorship. What do? You just sit back and watch it all fall down? Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I have a wonderful thumbnail. I got this wonderful thumbnail that I forgot to put up. So yeah, that's my thumbnail today. Everybody's got their fist in the air, pumping. Who's right? You've got lawyers trying to lock up Trump. You've got Biden saying, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what's going on, right? You got people blacks burning the fucking ground, calling it, burning things to the ground, saying it's all racist. You've got trannies pumping, demanding that they be allowed into women's sports, right? And all of this craziness brewing, right? A complete and utter breakdown of conventional science. Right? I don't know. There's a lot of deterioration going on that I see, that I feel, that I taste. So I got this website, and so let's start over here. Let's start here with, are we heading for civil war? That is the question. Let's put it to a Trump supporter.
If Donald Trump were to be found guilty by a jury, where do you see this going?
Civil war, because we can't live together, obviously.
Now, you might just dismiss that as the rantings of a cultish Trump superfan. Just big talk.
See, now, MSNBC is going to tell you why they're so smart. And that person who just said that is stupid. Because that's what the distorted liberal mind does these days. And I know it to be true, because I grew up in New York City. My whole life, left-leaning, Democratic, stronghold. And I can tell you, they think that they are smarter than people who didn't graduate from some jerk-off school.
This country's nowhere near a...
And even if they did graduate from some jerk-off school, they're still wrong, because they live in the middle of the country, or they're white, or they're isolated, or they're fucking something else, right?
Well, what? That's hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
So have a listen to Florida GOP Congressman Matt Gaetz speaking alongside Trump himself at the Iowa State Fair yesterday.
Okay.
I cannot stand these people that are destroying our country, that are opening our borders, that are weaponizing our federal law enforcement against patriotic Americans who love this nation as we should. We are having a great time at the fair. We love standing with you, but we know that only through force do we make any change in a corrupt town like Washington, D.C.
Okay, so now the key word there is force. He used Matt Gaetz said only by force does change come about. Is that true? Yeah, it's not necessarily physical force, but maybe that's what he's implying. But the MSNBC talking head is going to assure you that that's what he was talking about.
Only by force can we make change in D.C. That's what he said. Still not enough for you?
No, it's not enough for me, Jergoff. Continue.
Listen also to what Michigan Republican State Representative Matt Maddock, whose wife Michonne, a former co-chair of the Michigan Republican Party.
This guy's a moron. But he's funny, right? He's fun to talk about. Mahid Hassan. He's got his own show.
16 fake electors who was criminally charged last month. Listen to what he had to say earlier this month at a GOP fundraiser.
Let's listen.
An audio recording obtained by the news site The Messenger.
Yeah.
If the government continues to weaponize these departments against conservatives and the citizens that are then the taxpayers, what's going to happen to this country? Someone's going to get so pissed off they're going to shoot someone. That's what's going to happen. Or we're going to have a civil war or some sort of revolution. That's where this is going.
So if you suppress one side of the discussion, it leads to civil war. Now, does the jerk off from MSNBC even mention that? No, he goes right to, you see, they're violent. No, they're being taken advantage of. They're being suppressed and they're retaliating. Why don't you look at the suppression?
After that audio was released, Maddox issued this statement to The Messenger.
So you can see the guy's a total jerk off. And but here's the clip from Tim Pool. Let's listen.
By levying false charges against Trump and his lawyers. We're talking about legal counsel. Donald Trump facing legitimate questions about the 2020 election, notably the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, I believe that's the paper's name, reported that there were duplicate ballots scanned, and that after a watchdog group caught this, they were removed. Now, hold on. You say they were caught and removed. Yes, because a watchdog group caught and had them removed. Upon hearing this, is it reasonable for a person in this election to say, we got to do an audit, we got to figure out what's going on?
Absolutely. Absolutely, it's reasonable. If you suspect that there's improprieties in the election, you have to investigate. It's precisely what Trump did.
I certainly think so. Trump then confers with legal counsel about strategies and how to assess claims of impropriety in Georgia, burst water pipes, etc. Right. Whether or not you agree or disagree with the narrative, what would someone do? What would you do in an election when you're hearing about these things going on?
You would investigate, as the President of the United States, you would investigate the allegations of election fraud. And then once you see it, you would tell the people about it, which is precisely what Trump did. The very American patriotic thing that he did.
I've stated since the beginning, there should be a full-scale audit. Why?
Yeah.
If you don't actually investigate the claims made,
okay,
then you are going to end up with half the country pitted against half the country, and you face civil war or full-scale cultural collapse.
Civil war or full-scale cultural collapse is what Tim Pool is pointing to. Okay.
This is the point of a legal system.
Mm-hmm. And the legal system is deeply corrupted right now, right? It's not a just system, it appears.
For this, Donald Trump has been indicted, and so have his lawyers.
All right. No more hiding behind a lawyer. That's actually a good thing, but the people that are prosecuting are all lawyers. So it's lawyers versus lawyers. If you're going to take some lawyers out of the picture, if you're going to lock up some lawyers, you got to lock them all up, judges included.
So this is
just lock everybody up, man. Throw everybody in jail, and everybody lives in prison.
Not, in my view,
there'll be only prisoners, prison guards, and that's it.
Legitimate in any way. This is not. I don't like the phrase "banana republic." This is militarized weaponization of law enforcement across multiple jurisdictions. I believe we're looking at 91 plus indictments. The targeting of legal counsel.
Yep. Tim Pool's got it. Tim Pool has it. Who did we look at yesterday? Sticks, X, and Hammers got it. They understand what's going on. They see it. It's good for them. Good for these two guys. Finally.
That anyone who dares to provide constitutionally protected legal advice will also be brought up on charges.
Yep.
This is, I don't know what you call it, fifth generational civil war, revolution. History will determine.
What are we revolutionizing? What are we revolutionizing by what? That America is a racist country and get rid of all the white people and it's their fault? And what is actually being revolutionized? Is it the legal justice system? No police, and we have a system of criminal prosecutors prosecuting innocent people? Is that the revolution that the other side is calling for? It seems that way.
Determined.
One side is calling for, not the other.
whether or not we are facing revolution, civil war, or justice against an evil criminal enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. If fighting erupts over whatever happens in the next year, perhaps they'll say civil war. If these individuals imprison Trump and his lawyers, and I believe the next step is going to be media personalities who encouraged Trump to pursue this.
Right. So Trump, that's a good analogy. You see how the circle of the conspiracy widens, because Trump was involved in a deep conspiracy, and then everybody around Trump is also involved in that deeper conspiracy, which gives them the right to censor anyone who speaks positively or coherently about the issues. So the next sweep is censorship and maybe locking people up. Really.
Encouraged the fraud narrative, encouraged protests in Washington, D.C. They're next. They'll say that it was criminal incitement, that it was conspiracy, etc. They're already saying that there are several unindicted co-conspirators in this Georgia charge against Trump. They're next. Depending on who wins is how history will dictate what happened. If the
so it does seem like Tim Pool is very, very pro-Trump on this issue. You can't. I don't mean to say he's a Trump supporter. That's like a smear these days. But he sees the point that Trump is being criminally prosecuted by criminals who are trying to slow him down with 100 felony charges, trying to take him off the campaign trail, trying to frame him as the bad guy, someone who couldn't possibly manage a country. He's a criminal. Because some jerk-off grand jury said so. It's crazy.
Far-left extremist.
So that's what Tim Pool said. Here's an interesting interview that I found that I did back in Bay Ridge during the pro-NYPD rally when Antifa disrupted it and turned it into a riot. I ran into this Russian lady. Very interesting talk. Listen to her immigrant view of America. Listen to what she says.
What's up? Marcus Conti. Oh, it's I'm a YouTube guy. I'm a YouTube guy all by myself. My name is Marcus Conti. Can I talk to you? How you feeling? You ready to march? Ready to march for the police? Are you a cop?
No.
Was your son a cop?
I'm a supporter. Big supporter, yes.
Sounds good. They're getting a bad deal, right? A lot of people don't like them, right?
What do you mean?
The police.
Like them.
No,
I
know,
like
not
them.
you, but a lot of people.
Listen, we have to do something because we can lose the country. What do you think?
They want to take Texas, you heard?
We have to do something or we're going to lose the country, she said.
Oh, well, listen, you know what? I'm from socialist country. I know what does it mean socialism. That's why I'm here, and I'm for the police.
So you think Biden's ushering in socialism? Trump's a stop to that?
I hope so. Yeah, all my friends and my family is Trump supporter. Big.
I know you're from where are you from? Russia.
Former Russia, yes.
Former Russia, and socialism. They gave it a try there, and it was horrible and horrific, and everybody was starving.
Now they're trying to change back to capitalism because the socialism is not working anymore.
But you think we have a little bit of a disbalance in this country where although it's capitalism...
No, you know what? The balance is perfect. This is the best country in the world, and we have to preserve whatever we have.
She said the balance is perfect. This is the best country in the world. How about that? Right? How about that immigrant speaking out?
Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right, so, just let's listen to these guys.
I've said that numerous times. Yeah, I've said that numerous times. I've thought that a long time. I think they're going to push the wrong button pretty soon, or one of these days, and all hell's going to break loose. If it goes the wrong way, and they go after ammunition and guns the way they already have, there's going to be trouble.
And who are they? Who are they? Who are they? They is now becoming pretty clear. It's a weaponized legal justice system. It has a face. It's Fannie Willis. It's Alvin Bragg. It's, former Adam Schiff and the like. It's extreme left Democratic politicians, right? It has a face. That's who they are. And who are they Who do they represent? They represent corporate America, deep state interest. We know who they are.
We're here for the people. We're ready to take our country back, get rid of the people that shouldn't be in office and put the people in that need to be in.
I think we're doomed. I don't know if it's going to happen.
I think we're doomed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't question that there's already been a national divorce. I mean, you go to anything.
There has been a national divorce. I agree with that.
Thanksgiving, you just, your family members. There's no question that. I mean, this is crazy. We've got people wearing Trump stuff. It's like we've had to be in hiding for the last 2 years because we don't know if somebody's going to freak out if they know that we're a Trump supporter. Hush, hush. You got to keep it on the down low.
You've been labeled a Trump supporter, and you got to hide. Right? Fucking don't tell anybody you don't have a political agenda. Just be in the middle. Stay in the middle, and that's the safe place. When you're in the middle of the argument, and there's no let the two sides kill each other.
Because you don't know how somebody's going to react to that. So,
are you concerned about the division in the country now?
Oh yeah, it's horrible. It's just horrible.
People are saying we're headed toward civil war. Do you believe that?
Yes, we are headed toward doomsday.
Tell me.
Always listen to regular people and their view of it, and they'll tell you, they'll give you the answer. Right? They're they're not overeducated in the facts. They feel they have a gut feeling about what's happening, and a lot of people are pointing towards civil war. So far, it's pretty confirmed.
Tell me about that.
It's actually really scary. We need to have people stand up and say, "Hey, enough is enough." And take our country back. And hopefully Trump can get in there and get it done again like he did.
And what about civil war in this country? Are you afraid of that?
No, I am not.
People are talking about civil war now. You're hearing things, What do you think that's a possibility?
Of course. I don't think Biden's doing enough for peace talks with Russia. And it's a very real possibility that we could be in a war with them, which I don't know what his gain to not.
See, she doesn't know the difference between a war and a civil war, right? A war with Russia is war. A civil war is neighbors fighting amongst each other and then dividing the country. Right? That's what civil war is. No, maybe we should define civil war. What is civil war? Civil war is, it's not civil at all. There's a lot of killing and blowing up and bombing, but America has had one over, Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, where half the country south of the Mason-Dixon line said one thing, and the people north of the Mason-Dixon line said something else. That's a civil war, and they started shooting at each other and blowing each other up and raping and pillaging the other's property. That's what civil war looks like. Burning. Cities of America burn.
Do that but he makes no sense.
The Civil War, they want civil war.
Who's they?
Who's they? Who is they? That's a great question. Good job, Young Turk. Who is they?
The globalists. Let's go there. Let's talk about the globalists. Biden's not punching this down.
See, people really don't know. They don't know the source of the problem. It is globalist, but what does that mean? What does that mean? It's you and me who fuel the fucking capitalist system, like I'm doing right now, watching this fucking stock go down. But anyway, who are the globalists? They are the globalists, according to this guy. They're starting the civil war. They want a civil war. They want everything to collapse. Why? They don't want everything to collapse. They want everything to go in their pocket.
Obama and Soros and all these other guys that people don't even talk about. We know who they are now. So the thing is,
a lot of misinformation in this guy.
Biden doesn't know what room he's in. So that's
true.
That's all I can say.
No.
We might be on a precipice of civil war, but it ain't gonna last long if we do go to a civil war.
If he were to run again and lose, how would you feel?
I'd feel like maybe the people aren't thinking very well.
Do you think we're headed toward a civil war here?
I think if we keep going down the same road, same path, I see it coming if we don't change something soon.
See, the problem here with channels like TYT is they are sure that it is the other side of the aisle that will cause and or kick the Civil War off. But they don't realize that they're backing, when you back criminal prosecution, right? Criminals prosecuting a former president right out in the open with bogus, ridiculous conspiracy theories, going after all of his lawyers and arresting people and throwing them in jail. And then you turn around and say, well, are you ready for a civil war? You're fucking, I don't know what you are, but the problem is that the liberal left cannot see their part in it. One side cannot see their part, that they're doing it. They're calling for defund the police, but they're weaponizing the bigger police against their opponents, right? So it's crazy. Right? What else we got? This is Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr says said something pretty good. What'd she say? I forgot.
I don't even think we're going to have any election.
Oh, she says, I don't think we're going to have an election.
It out like no. Going to have any election. I don't even think we're going to have any election, Tim. I don't think we're going to have no election.
You want to bet money?
So 2024, Roseanne Barr says, we're not even going to have an election. Is that ridiculous? Let's listen.
24. I'll bet.
How much? $100?
How much you got?
Not as much as you.
I'll bet big. I don't think we're going to have no election.
$1,000.
All right, I'll bet.
Shake hands.
I hate shaking hands. Go like this.
It's worth it. Oh, that was a good one.
$1,000. So if we have an election 2024, you're going to give me $1,000.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Roseanne Barr says no election. No election.
Jake, does she have it?
Yeah.
Does she have? You don't have like a Britney Spears relationship with her, right? She has control of her money.
I got $1,000, but
okay.
You're going to have to pay me $1,000 when we do not have no election.
I would be delighted.
Well,
and I'll buy you a nice dinner on top of that.
Why do you think there won't be an election?
Because I think the corruption is just beginning to come out, and I think it's going to avalanche the corruption of the Biden administration. And
wow. Roseanne Barr saying the corruption of the Biden administration. Really? Wow.
The money they took versus
the money they took.
It's going to be about Ukraine and Russia, then it's going to go into China, then it's going to go into the DOJ, and it's going to be like a big old avalanche.
That would prompt an election.
Huh?
That would prompt an election.
No, because I think that it's going to get so bad in the streets, too, that I think the military is going to step in.
I mean, Michael, we've talked about the...
Wow. So Roseanne Barr is in the school of thought. Listen to this lady. She says the answer is censorship. She is a Civil War expert. She says, shut the other side up. I don't know what her name is. I don't care.
The business community can also help address identity politics by investing in those communities that have been left behind by globalization and by free trade agreements like NAFTA. In the United States, it was the working class that disproportionately suffered. Those are the communities that are the most angry and the most resentful today. Businesses can invest in better health care, better education, and a higher minimum wage so that they create a group of people who are hopeful about the future and less vulnerable to the calls by extremists.
She said something important. I think she's going to say it now. Say it. Say it.
But there's perhaps an easier solution, at least in the short term.
What is it?
Just in the short term.
This is to stop a civil war.
And that is to regulate social media, especially...
I'll give a round of applause. Regulate social media. That's the way you do it. That's how you stop a civil war. And how exactly are you going to do that? How are you going to regulate it?
The algorithms that push out the most incendiary and divisive material.
Okay, well, let's define incendiary and divisive. Incendiary and divisive is everything that you dislike and somebody else likes. Right? That's how you define it. There is no definition. You're basically saying, have the algorithms not pump out hate speech. What is hate speech? It's everything that I don't like. Don't you know what hate speech is? Trump's a fucking animal. He's a criminal. He needs to be in jail. How dare you support him? You're going to destabilize the country. Right? That kind of Trump derangement syndrome. This is the overeducated. These are the overeducated leaders in our communities now. And I say overeducated, not meaning that they have a lot of information. They just have a lot of information, but they're overkill, and they start seeing everything as opposite.
I'm not saying that we should censor free speech.
Yes, you are.
Let people put whatever they want on social media, but do not allow the algorithms to amplify the messages by bullies and hate mongers and conspiracy theorists and enemies of democracy.
Right, enemies of democracy. So that's Barbara F. Walter at TED telling you that censorship is the answer. What about Hannity?
Democrats, they are appalled that anyone would ever question the results of any election. They would never themselves do anything like that. They value democracy too much. Really? Let's go to the videotape.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president. I think it's also critical to understand that, as I've been telling candidates who have come to see me, you can run the best campaign, you can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
So should Hillary Clinton be thrown in jail for saying you could have the election stolen from you? Right. That's what they're throwing Trump in jail for.
I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really
Illegitimate president. There's Kamala Harris. Right. I agree.
win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right.
The president is an illegitimate racist occupying the White House.
The Russian weighing in on the election, the Russian attempt to have the election, and frankly, the FBI's weighing in on the election, I think makes his election illegitimate.
He's illegitimate. And my biggest fear is that he's going to do it again with the help of Vlad, his best pal, and we're going to be stuck for 6 more years with this guy. And that is terrifying. It's terrifying.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate? Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
We had this little election back in 2018. And despite the
8 p.m. on Sunday night, right here on Fox, the great one, Mark Levin.
So election fraud used to be real when the Democrats lost to Trump, but now it's totally legitimate. Everything is on the up and up, and let's arrest Trump. If that's not Banana Republic, I don't know what is.
What a shock, Mark. They even talked about some of them alternate electors at some point. I played that on my radio show today.
That's a funny thing about this Democrat Party. It does hate America. It's hated America since its founding. It helped cause the Civil War and segregation, went all the way into the 1960s. It supported eugenics. Now it supports abortion on demand. Hates this country. We've gone through several years where they attacked the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And it's the voting system that they crave. They put out this H.R. 1, which would destroy all the protections against fraud in elections. If you dare say anything, you're the denier. Yeah. Let me explain something about Georgia and all the rest of it.
All right. So again, the idea is, are we getting to civil war?
Because I said, y'all are in a civil war. Did a long segment about it for 1 p.m. talking about ending on Twitter. Because I said, y'all are in a civil war.
Yeah.
Did a long segment about it for 1 p.m. talking about what we're currently facing. And I go quite in depth on what I mean by civil war. There is a multi-generational theory of warfare, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Boy, there could be sixth. Fifth generation warfare typically is psychological operations, manipulation, and easiest way to describe it is that.
I think it'll go further than that. I don't think it'll just be psychological. We're already in that we're in that part of it. Now it's like, when do people start shooting at each other? That's the point.
I would say this. Back in the day, when communication was limited, you could go to a village and you would say, we hereby, on the name of the king, tell you to submit. You try to tell them that you are now going to fall into the crown, submit to his whims, and they would say, over our dead bodies. In order to gain access to this land, its resources, and its people, you would then engage in physical subjugation and oppression.
All right, so Tim Poole knows everything about history. Let's talk about the markets, which I'm not enjoying right now. We're going down. Oh, boy. So Dow Jones Industrial Average is down it looks like zero. It looks pretty flat right now. S&P 500 down 2. The big drag is the NASDAQ down 0.5 percentage point. Rivian, meme stocks pulling back a little bit. Rivian down to $20.45 a share. Tilray, $2.49. What's the big drag on big tech? Facebook pulling back, down 4. Amazon down $1. Apple down 23 cents. Google down $1. Microsoft down 14 cents. Tesla down $2. Walmart up on better than expected earnings. Target also up. Retail, Walmart, Target up. Target up 6 points right now. Good for that. Good for Target. Bitcoin down $2.77. Boeing, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, the war stocks all green this morning. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Holy Vaccine stocks mixed. Johnson & Johnson up 90 cents. So we've got a bit of a mixed open. Looks like maybe the NASDAQ could scrape back a little bit. And the Dow is flat. So there you have it on Wall Street. All right, I'm pretty much exhausted right now from this, talking about this. So what do you think? Let's do a survey in the chat. 1 equals civil. I want to correct it. We were already in civil, the fifth generation civil war, where it's psychological warfare. That's already happening. We know that. But is it bloody civil war? Old school. So 1 is bloody civil war, or 2 is nothing burger. What do you think, man? Where are we? Where are we heading? I think we're already in a psychological civil war. People can't even sit down and have a conversation anymore without fighting. So what do you think? I think we're heading towards civil war. I really do. I think that it's going to get bad. It gets a lot bad before it gets good. So there you go. David Brown won. You vote. You guys vote away, and I'll play more of this band that I didn't like. Maybe I missed something. Corey Hansen. See you guys tomorrow.
Truck full of gold dust melting